Hello, mixtresses and mixters. This is Mixtressrae. You're watching Mixtress Video. So today I'm going to do a vlog. I am going to, this is very weird. I am going to make up with my dad, kind of. So my dad has been gone. He has been not with us since, sorry, I'm having a hard time because it's like, when I turn it one way, it's mirrored. Anyway, my dad has been not with us since 2011, and yeah. So I went to see him. This is what I'm doing today. See this? This is my last name, just so you know. Cope's 1992 Mad Scientist Award. This is like a silly little trophy that I think my mom might have bought for my dad because he called himself the Mad Scientist. I don't know why. He wasn't a scientist at all. It was just a stoner thing, I think. So I went to see him. God, it would have been like 2 years ago, I think, was the last time I went to his gravesite. We didn't get along. We were similar in a lot of ways, and he was very much not a mature adult. So that is kind of the overall gist of it. He was abusive towards me when I was a kid, but not in a way that he was aware of. You know, like he wasn't trying to be abusive to me, but he did damage because I'm a very sensitive person. Anyway, I'm not here to get into all that shit. But when I went to see him about 2 years ago, I had a really bad experience. I brought my tarot cards with me. I think this was the first time I had ever done that. And I came away from that experience thinking, I'm never coming back. I'm never visiting him again. And now, 2-ish years later, I'm ready to go back, and we're going to see how it goes. I'm wearing my Two of Swords earrings just to kind of get that sacred boundary thing, and I think I need to do a little bit of like boundary setting, boundary meditation kind of thing. But anyway, lately I've been doing this thing. I'm trying to like declutter a little bit in my life, and some of the things that feel sentimental to me, and yet I'm also kind of done with them. It's kind of a weird category of things. I'm finding some solace in releasing them in strange places. So that's why I'm bringing my dad back his Mad Scientist Award, because this is the kind of thing that like I've noticed some people do. I visit cemeteries a lot, and people do leave little sentimental things like this at the grave sites of their, loved ones. So I don't know if I would consider my dad a loved one, but anyway, I'm just going to leave this at his stone. So I'm going to take you guys on that journey. This is like a 30-minute drive for me or so. So unfortunately I won't be able to, because I'm going to listen to music in the car, and don't even get me started. I think it's fair use to use music in videos. Like if you're driving somewhere and you have the radio on or some shit, like why can't you? But whatever, you can't. So I'm probably going to be listening to Bat for Lashes' Lost Girls album, because I've just been listening to it on repeat for like 3 weeks now. So I'm going to listen to that in the car, and then I'm going, oh, that reminds me, there's like parts of that drive that at least 2 years ago didn't have signal. So I need to load that album onto my old school iPod mini, and then I'll go. And so next you're just going to see me at the site. I'm going to do a little bit of a tarot reading. I don't know if I'm going to share that part or not, but I will at least, because I'm experimenting with yesterday I spent my whole day filming like tours of my favorite cemeteries for you guys, but it was terrible. It was terrible. The camera was really shaky. There was a lot of wind. So I'm going to bring my microphone, my good microphone that has a windscreen that I can attach to it today. So I'm not going to redo all of my cemetery tours, at least not right now. But I will at least make it better for you guys. You don't know that it wasn't good, but it wasn't good. You do not want to see it. I can barely get through it. Because I tend to be a very, like, what I'm looking at is where the camera goes kind of person. So I'm going to try to be better about that today. Cross your fingers that I will figure it the fuck out. Let's go to the cemetery. Here we go. Okay, we're here. So, hopefully this sounds a lot better than yesterday. I'm going to try to walk slow. I guess I can give you like a little bit of a pan. Full disclosure, it is so bright out that I can't really see what you guys can see. This is a pretty modern cemetery, I would say. There's really nothing exciting about this cemetery. It's just a lot of very normal, modern stones. And I can't remember exactly where my dad is, but he's in that general direction. I'll just kind of pan around so you can see the scope of... It's a pretty small cemetery. It's close to the highway, as you can hear. Pretty much everything is close to the highway because I live in a Route 66 town. I've got my incense burning. I would show you, but the way that I have to do this mic situation, I have to have a microphone in one hand and the camcorder in the other. So I've got all my tarot cards and everything in a bag on my shoulder. And here we go. I'm going to try to walk slow. I'm forcing myself to walk slow because the problem with like the video that I made for you guys yesterday, one of the big issues was the fact that I just kept moving the camera, and like when I was walking, the camera was shifting, and I can kind of see that it's doing that now too. Michael's like, you need a, what do you call it, a gimbal? Like some kind of rig that stabilizes while you're walking. Well, I don't have that. I just have my hand. So I'm walking painfully slow right now, guys. Painfully slow. Guess we could look at some stones while we're here. Slaughter, Carol, she's still kicking. Ralph died 6 years ago. 6.5. Guess closer than that. Troy and Dima. Lots of slaughters right in this area. This is going to be a true test. There is wind today. Can't see my dad yet, so I'm not sure I'm even in the right spot. I'm just really trying to walk slow, guys. Mildred Cope. So I am of the Copes. I do not know Mildred Cope Griffith, but she would have died 96. I would have been 13. Lauren T. Cope. Thomas Cope. Ruby Opal. Well, isn't that just a precious gemstone of a name? Okay, here's some slaughters. Am I in the right spot? I don't know. I only have come here. This is probably like the 6th time. And my dad's been gone for almost 10 years. I feel like he has a somewhat fancy stone, but it's not like a tall stone. It's one of the ones on the ground. I don't know. We'll find it. Check out this really old Cope stone. I almost want to walk up to that. 1915? You guys can probably see what that says. But since it's so bright out, I can't really see it. You guys, look at me being so patient, zooming in such a calm fashion. It might look normal, but you really have to, I mean, for me anyway, you really have to train yourself. My incense has gone out. Of course, I didn't bring the lighter with me. You really have to train yourself to sort of be very calm in your movements. Okay, I think I see where my dad is, and he's further away than I was expecting, but that's okay. We're making our way so calmly, so slowly and so calmly. Of course, I don't have to take you guys on this journey. I love cemeteries. I guess this does have a few older stones in it. I love when they're all like covered in moss and shit. Curtis is very loved. They've brought him some Easter eggs. Oh, Curtis was young. Beloved son of Thomas and Lisa Marshall. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just... I think I want to go back to the car and get the lighter so I can relight the incense. So I will be right back when I actually get to the stone, which I can see it from here, I think, if I'm seeing the right one, but I think it's that flat stone. I don't even know if you can see it on the viewfinder right now. Yeah, that flat stone that's in between those taller stones, I think that's my dad. Okay, I will be right back because I do want to have incense lit for this experience. Okay, here we are. This is the weirdest thing. I just have to say it. See how it says, Stephen, son of Alice and Stan. Alice, mother of Judy and Stephen. So it's weird to me because my dad and my grandma were not that close. Really, the only reason why they're both here right next to each other is because my granddad, who is divorced from Alice, didn't want to spend the money for 2 stones or something. And in fact, he didn't want to spend the money to have 2 separate funerals. So there was one funeral for both of them, even though my grandma died from complications. She was in the tornado and she had injuries that she didn't recover from. She was in a nursing home that was hit pretty hard by the tornado. So the tornado happened May 22nd, 2011, and she died less than a month later. And then my dad died, as you can see, a month after that. Not even a month after that. And it was such a traumatic time for me. I guess I'm going to talk for a second, but it was, not only a traumatic time because, a huge natural disaster had just destroyed most of my hometown, including my house, including my mom's house that was my childhood home. I've talked to you guys about that kind of stuff recently, so sorry to recap it every single time, but just in case this is the first video of mine you've ever seen. Anyway, it was a super traumatic time because by this point, it was almost 2 months later after the tornado, and the day that his funeral was, which was, another week or so after this, was the day that I was moving into a home. So I was finally no longer going to be homeless, and I was moving, and all the stress of moving and all of that shit was happening at the same time that, I was having to deal with the loss of my dad, I wasn't that close to anyway, but still. And my grandma Cope, who I hadn't actually seen in many years before she died. It was all a bunch of weird emotions, and I kind of had a meltdown at the funeral. I just started crying uncontrollably, which of course seems totally natural at a funeral, and people thought I was crying about my dad, but I really kind of wasn't crying about my dad. It was just sort of the outpouring of everything all at once. And I feel like to some extent, and I've been saying this for 10 years now, but to some extent, I never really dealt with the death of my dad because it happened at the same time as, everything else. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to set some things down, which means I have to stop this recording since both of my hands are occupied right now. And I'm also going to, do you see how there's like a little statue like toppled over here next to that stone? I'm going to go put those flowers back in that basket and write that too. But I have to set things down before I can do that. So hold please, I'll be right back. Okay, I think we're dealing with a situation where a wing has broken off too, unfortunately. Okay, I'm gonna get into this. It's gonna be hard because I have a microphone. I'm going to prop it up on my legs. Sorry for the shaky cam, guys. This is not, that's the problem. This isn't like a stone situation. Okay, I really need a better situation because I cannot do one hand holding a mic, one hand holding a camera, and try to do things at the same time. It can't happen. It's impossible. I don't have 3 hands. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to record this, but I'm going to go ahead and write these flowers. Okay. I have, just if you want to see the proof, I put that little statue back up and righted the flowers and this little statue on the other side of, I don't know this person, but I don't know, that kind of stuff. I do kind of like to fix those things if I'm walking by them and I see it. Okay, I'm just going to do like a little, I guess, just kind of talk to my dad for a second. And then I will pull some cards. Most likely I won't be able to show you any of that because I need hands to do that. It's like, I know that like my sister brings him little cars and stuff, but this one is just like a frame of a car at this point. Anyway, hi Dad. I know I'm mad at you and you're mad at me, but that's kind of the state that we've always been in, so whatever. I'm bringing you back your 1992 Mad Scientist Award. I don't know if you care about that or not. I've kept it for a while just because I thought it was funny. But ultimately, it's just a silly little plastic thing, and I don't need it. You know what it should say on my dad's? You know how sometimes they have like a little quote or something? My dad's should say, "He who dies with the most toys still dies." No, he was fond of the phrase, "He who dies with the most toys wins," if you've ever heard that. And I used to have a Fear Not. Do you remember those stupid t-shirts? Fear Not t-shirts or something? And it just said, "He who dies with the most toys still dies." And I wore it just to make fun of my dad. But he was very much a collector of things, and there's a certain element of that. He was a collector of things in a sense that was just like a little too much. He did have sort of curated collections of things, but I don't even know why I'm talking about this fucking shit. Like, this is what I do, guys. I just sit down and I start going in on whatever it is. And I think there's definitely an element of me that needs to reckon with my tendency towards the same behavior. So part of me letting go of this stupid little trophy is it's part of that process. I don't need to keep this stupid little trophy. I do find it to be funny, but I can find it to be funny later when I watch this video. I don't need to have this item in my life. I'm trying to like sort of divorce my sort of thought process of, maybe I can show you guys something else while I'm babbling. You can just look out at this gorgeous cemetery. I'm trying to like divorce my thought process of thinking that something's funny and interesting from needing to have it in my life. You know, like, why not just, you think something's funny and interesting, you've had it in your life for a while, maybe take a moment to take a picture of it, or like I'm doing right now. I feel like it's personally significant for me to let certain things go in this kind of context and keep track of it by documenting it. Why did I say that weird? Because I couldn't think of the word document. All right, I'm going to flip this camera around and then see if I can do, hey, hi. This is actually really hard to do. Okay. I realize I'm not actually making better videos than I did yesterday, so you guys didn't have to see those at least, but I guarantee this isn't any better. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say, except I am really trying to let go of things and be more mindful about the things that I bring into my life, because conceptually, I really do sort of think of my stuff as being kind of in my aura surrounding me, if that makes sense. Like everything that I choose to own is kind of following me. I don't know. That conceptually is helping me at the moment kind of choose to let go of things. Last night I took a huge trash bag full of clothes, and I'm not usually very good at getting rid of clothes. That's one thing that, like, I don't really have a problem with having a lot of, because I do take care of my clothes, and everything that still fits, I will still wear it until it falls apart, or, you know. But I suddenly had this realization yesterday. I didn't know I was going to talk about this, but I suddenly had this realization the other day, yesterday, that, you know, I've always been okay with letting go of things that fall apart, or like if I have too many of a certain type of thing, I can let go of that. I've been able to let go of things that don't work for me, things that no longer fit or are falling apart. And I've been able to let go of things that I have too many of the same thing, so I'm able to pare down to just one. But I've never been able to get rid of things that still fit, still have use, I don't have too many of, but that I've, like with clothes, like things that I've worn a ton of times, but just aren't my style anymore. Like I've never really accepted letting go of a style or something. I don't know if that makes sense, but like last night I just realized as I was going through my closet, you know, I have several things. Like I had this one pair of like orchid colored, like radiant orchid colored, like the Pantone color radiant orchid, you know, pants, and they still fit me. They haven't fallen apart, but I haven't worn them in years because I actually just am over them. And I've never really accepted that that is a good enough reason to let go of something until yesterday. So I got rid of a whole trash bag full of clothes and some other things that I just didn't need. Lots of things from like subscription boxes and stuff, which has really led me to like, right now I have 2 subscription boxes, but most likely one of those I'm not going to keep much longer. And the other one I've pared down to be like a seasonal box instead of monthly. I just don't want to acquire all the things anymore. And apparently hanging out with my dad is bringing that up for me at the moment. But I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm here, because I'm letting go of a thing that I don't need anymore. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now and I'm just going to do like a little reading, and maybe I'll share with you guys what cards I pull, but I didn't bring my tripod with me because I'm stupid. So I won't be able to actually share with you the process of me pulling the cards. But, and just again, God, my grandpa Cope, so cheap. Like he couldn't even, like he's so fucking rich, but he wouldn't even get a stone that was a stand-up stone, like these other ones, I guarantee. I just forgot for a second that my grandpa is dead now. I was going to say when he dies, but he's been dead for almost a year. I guarantee that his stone, wherever it is, I think it's in like Washington or something. I don't know where his stone is, but I guarantee it's gigantic compared to this. Like, it's probably got a big monument with an angel and some quotes about Jesus on it and shit. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. For real. I'm gonna shut up. If I can find the button that is the stop button. There it is. Okay. So, these are the cards that I pulled from Le Vampire Oracle. I pulled the Sacrifice card. Renunciation, Offering, and Letting Go. And then I pulled Ace of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Knight of Swords, and Seven of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is my card of the month. So for me, this is kind of significant because I think for me, Ace of Pentacles has been about letting go of items, not just about like new opportunities for, you know, like the general meaning of Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities for jobs and material possessions and receiving money and blah, blah, blah. Right now, at this moment, I'm seeing it as letting things go. And this sort of like the Le Vampire card of renunciation, offering, and letting go is, yeah, I am letting go. I am getting closure. For sure. And the offering of this item, I could interpret the Four of Cups as being like, my dad doesn't give a shit if I offer him this item. What's the Knight of Swords? I guess I could see that just as a Gemini sort of attempt at communication card. And sort of the Seven of Pentacles has been a general theme for me all year so far. In 2021, everything has just been about, for me, really figuring out, taking a step back and figuring out what's working and what isn't. And I'm finding that this isn't one of the Seven of Pentacles cards, but you know how on some Seven of Pentacles cards, like some of the leaves will be rotted? Like, I guess you can kind of see by the... No, it doesn't really look like it. Anyway, this isn't one of those cards, but I'm definitely like in a process of like figuring out what's rotted and pulling it out. And, you know, it's little by little. Like the other day, I did the same sort of thing where I took an item to a cemetery. It was a different situation, but I took a sculptural item that an ex had made and brought it to a cemetery and set it down in a particular place that was significant to a part of our relationship. And I just set it down there. And it was like a little statue that he had made in high school, like before we ever dated. And it was meaningful to me to let it go in that space. My cards are blowing away, you guys. Okay. I'm going to go now. I'm going to call that the end of the reading since my cards are blowing away and I don't have a hand to pick them up with at the moment. Before they completely blow away. Thank you guys for listening and coming with me on this little journey. Yeah, I might do a little bit of walking around the cemetery after this. And if so, then you'll see that. Okay. Holy crap, you guys. I almost missed this. You know, whenever I was like, I guarantee you my granddad has a gigantic... He doesn't. Yet, anyway. Surely something will be here. I did not realize that he was being buried right next to my dad. When did that happen? What? I'm a little confused by this because I thought he was buried in like Washington where he died. Holy crap. I mean, obviously this is a marker. I don't understand why he doesn't have a stone yet. I guess, I mean, there's been all kinds of stuff like legal weirdness going on with like his will and weird stuff like that. Maybe my step-grandma has not paid to get him a stone yet until she resolves all of that, which makes no sense because she's got all the money in the world. Holy crap, I almost completely missed that. I was just like, as I was standing up, I was just like, I wonder what this weird little plastic marker in the ground is all about. That's my granddad. Holy weirdness. Holy weirdness. I feel like he wouldn't want to make the choice to be buried here because my step-grandma's not going to be buried here. There's definitely not room for her to be right here. That's almost like, I feel like that's a slap in the face from my step-grandma that she would have him here and that she doesn't have a stone for him yet. What the fuck is that about? That is weird, dude. Anyway, I'm trying to find a place to pee. I'm just like, is there somewhere I can squat? I'm thinking maybe behind that like pile of sticks back there, because there are like houses kind of surrounding the cemetery, so I don't want to flash anyone, but I would really like to pee without having to stop at a gas station and put a mask on and all that bullshit. Anyway. Okay, that's all I got. So this is just to show you I'm at the very back of this cemetery. There's my car over there. I don't know if you can see it because LCD screen. But just to show you, these two stones are way at the back of the cemetery. Can't really read this one. JP something. You would have to like remove whatever that growth is to see. And then William Averett. So this must be father and son here, perhaps. Artillery. 1914. So I wonder if these were like some of the very first graves here, and then they just decided to start filling in from the front back after that. I don't know. That's just weird to me. Oh, there was one stone up here that I wanted to show you guys, but I'm not going to walk with the camera because it looks horrible. So hold please. I wanted to show you guys this one because I just think it's so cute. This is the back of a couple's stone, I'm guessing, because you got the cowboy and the cowgirl. So let's see who it is. Weaver. Carol Sue, Charles A. Carol's still with us. Okay, I think that's it for me in this cemetery. Like, I said some shit to my dad. I said some shit to you guys. I realized my granddad is here, which confuses me. I wonder what the story is behind that. Maybe he was cremated and like some of him is here and he's gonna have a stone here and some of him is in Washington. Maybe that's what's happening. I should definitely know that information, but I don't. Okay. Thank you guys for being on this journey with me. Flip the camera around. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the car, chill out, think for a second, figure out if there's anything else I need to say to my dad. Since I only come here, like, it's been 2 years, you know? So, yeah, and then I'm just gonna go home. So thank you for coming with me on this journey. Let me know if you're interested in content like this. I know it's kind of like YouTube suicide if you suddenly start doing different things on your channel without creating a separate channel, but I'm just not the kind of person that can create a separate channel. That's just not me, yo. So anyway, thank you to those of you that have been encouraging me to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, Also, let me know if you want me to do an unfair comparisons video with my my new White Newman tarot. Let me know what you want me to compare it to, if you do. Okay,